Hey, Sunday night soul timers. I hope that you're doing well. Had a good weekend, getting ready for the week ahead. So, we're going to continue our conversation. Last week, we really got into how to release limiting beliefs. Again, limiting beliefs really block us from manifesting our dreams, from manifesting our intentions, from living the life you want to live, right? Because the only thing that's ever blocking you is you. It's your belief in limitation. The universe is not limited. The universe is not limiting you because it would go against its own nature. Okay. So, in many ways, we're having an experience, when we connect to limitation, when we connect to fear, we're having an experience of who we inherently aren't. Remember who we are. Okay. And as part of this, and when it's specific to intentions and manifestations, and if you've done any of this kind of work, you've probably heard this saying, but it said, hold the vision, surrender the outcome. But what we're really talking about is don't be attached, because attached under it has a negative connotation, an undercurrent of fear and limitation. I'm holding on to this. I'm attached to this because if I don't have this, then this, right? So that's really what I want to introduce you to think about and how to think about this, because what you're practicing is how you're holding your intentions from an energy perspective. So when they say hold the vision, surrender the outcomes, what it's really about is have unwavering trust in them. Have unwavering trust that they are going to happen. Might not happen and come about exactly as you think it will in your mind, but have faith in them. And then surrender. When they say surrender outcome, surrender attachment to the how. Surrender any fear-based attachment you have whatsoever. So, for example, say your manifestation is a relationship, right? You want a love relationship, but you have so much fear that it's not going to happen. That's attachment. You have so much worry about it. You deep down on some level feel like it's never going to happen for you. That is the energy to work to surrender. So there's three things on this I want you to think about. Again, it's like you practice holding that vision, holding that intention, holding that dream and the outcome you desire from a place of faith and trust and knowingness. And you practice as it comes up on a daily basis, surrendering the fear, the lack, the limitation, this is never going to happen for me energy. And you shift back into your believing, your trusting, your faith energy. And because here's the thing, and here's the couple of things I want you to think about. If you are in fear and then therefore you're so attached to the outcome, right? And like in a negative way, if this doesn't happen, then I'm not going to be happy. If this doesn't happen, then what'll I do? You've somehow created a story in your mind that your happiness is predicated on this thing occurring. And that's the illusion you have to surrender, right? So you are negating your connection to self, to source, when you have made your happiness condition on something in the future. You've created, it's destined, it's not now. That is what you want to work to surrender, because that's the underlying root cause. So to examine this, if there's any of your manifestations, any of those intentions where you're like, I just always have fear around this, the deeper work to do is understand the story you've created that conditions your happiness that's predicated on that you cannot be whole now, that you cannot be happy now. Examine the story around that. And I am looking at my notes here. So you've created some fear-based story in your mind predicated that you cannot be happy until this thing occurs. So you just write down whatever that story is. Okay. 2, write down the illusion inherent in that story. And I'll tell you, at the deepest level, what that is that your happiness is based on external events. Your happiness is based on things that you perceive you don't have now. Instead, your happiness comes directly from source. So for step 3 on this, the way to really surrender negative fear-based attachment is to take on the affirmation that my happiness flows through me. Divine source is my happiness. My connection to divine source and how much I'm feeling that is my happiness. This other stuff is an illusion, right? Because the deeper issue is that you do not feel at one with the universe, that you do not feel at one with source. And therefore, you are creating these stories and these scenarios and these intentions and manifestations, and you feel so fear around them. You feel so uncertain around them. You feel so, because deep, deep down, you believe they are what's going to bring you happiness. But if you felt truly of the universe, at one with, no separation, you would be in happiness now. You would have those dreams, desires that come up with your heart, and you would just have a deep knowing, joy, and excitement for when they unfold and bring you even more happiness. Okay. So again, with any of your intentions, and especially where if you did any of the limiting beliefs work, you might already have some insight into this, is understand what is the destination mindset I'm employing here, conditioned on my happiness tied to these. What is the deeper thing that's really going on that I need to examine, need to sit with, around illusionary based stories I've created that are blocking me from allowing myself to just be happy now with what is. And then 3, an affirmation, reaffirm to yourself that the only source of my true happiness is my connection to the divine, my connection to my universe, my connection to my true self. My connection to, so another way of saying that, my connection to my true self is my connection to the present moment, right? So if you're not kind of like connecting it to universe, God, if that feels too much for you, that's okay. Your connection to the present moment and your inability to do that or receive that is blocking the happiness in the now. So this one's a bit deeper tonight than I realize that, but I really want you to think about that and to go deeper in your own self-examination and your own self-awareness. Like, how are you making happiness based on a future event? Can you be happy now? And again, for any intentions where you feel more fear, more I'm attached to the outcome, I am really attached, I'm holding on. There is something deeper there. So examine and know what that's really about. What's the deepest layer of that story? Where do you feel not whole? Where do you feel not complete? Where do you feel not at one with the present moment or the divine? Because therein lies your answer. Therein lies your answer on all of this. So that's it for now. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful week. And I'll see you next time. Bye.